Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to United Daily Live. This is AdamMcKola TV. Hope you guys are all doing well. We're back this Sunday. Not long now until football returns. Of course, less than 2 weeks to go until the Premier League returns. And less than 2 weeks to go, 12 days to go in fact, until Manchester United return and are back in action. And we were in fact in action yesterday in an intra-squad friendly which ended in a 4-4 draw. So we'll be going through all the goal scorers in that game today, as well as looking at the reports linking Manchester United with a move for Donny van der Beek, Jack Grealish, and also reports that I didn't expect to be reading this morning, which were the news that Daniel James could be allowed to go out on loan. Now this has been reported everywhere by British press. Me personally, I'm very, very sceptical about this news in relation to Daniel James, but we'll read it and find out what the hell they're saying anyway and weigh up whether we think it's true or not. So get your opinion in on everything we're discussing today, whether it's Daniel James, whether it's that 4-4 draw in the intra-squad friendly, whether it's Jack Grealish, Donny van der Beek, whatever you want to talk about. Get your comments in here on the channel, here on the show, because remember, this is your show as well, and we're here to, of course, get your opinions. I can already see Sean in there saying not happy if Grealish is being prioritised over Sancho, which is in relation to the other rumour. We've got Atif in the house. We've got Aaron Braz. I'm doing very well, mate. Hope you're doing well. How you doing, Atif? Thank you for joining us. It's been a while since you've been in the comments. Good to see you back again, unless I've just missed you. Shot by Kieran's here. I'm good, thank you very much, mate. Hope you're well. Tian's in the house as well. Loads of people have joined us this afternoon. I was about to say this morning, I don't know what time it is yet. Neil's there, Christian, Chris, Callum, Al, Gary, Sean, United Way, Josh Berry. So thank you very much to everyone for joining us. And Stoic says, is James leaving? And if so, why? Well, let's look at these reports in relation to Daniel James today and see where these come from. So if you do a simple Google search, which is obviously the place we all go to first, you see the Daily Express, the Daily Mail, the Sun, all the usual places are reporting this news in regards to him potentially being loaned out. Daily Star, Metro, Court Offside, everywhere is talking about this potential news. So we'll just open any one of these stories. And the news says Manchester United could offer Daniel James a new contract and then loan him out next season as big name transfers join. Manchester United could offer Daniel James a bumper new deal, but then loan him out next season. The Welsh winger 22 has made 37 appearances this term and will be rewarded with a pay rise, but the door may be left open for the ex-Swansea attacker to play away from Old Trafford if they make some summer signings. United are pushing for Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, and he is earmarked for the right wing slot, so James may not get many regular starts. He only joined United 1 year ago from Championship outfit Swansea for £15 million. James scored 4 times in 37 games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season, and he still has a chance to impress further when United resume their Premier League campaign against Spurs on June the 19th. However, Solskjaer has his heart set on landing Dortmund and England flyer Sancho. And United reportedly signalled their interest to focus on his signature by dropping their interest in Chelsea-bound Timo Werner. Sunsport exclusively revealed last month that United are also keen on a $50 million deal for Bayer Leverkusen playmaker Kai Havertz, and other reports have suggested Solskjaer would still like to add Jack Grealish to the mix, therefore limiting James's chances even further. So that's where this comes from. It's based off the back of the rumours of Manchester United signing Jadon Sancho, Kai Havertz, Jack Grealish. If we sign these players, then obviously James isn't going to be able to play. Now, I would love for Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish and be in a position where maybe someone who's been seen as a valuable squad member won't be getting as many minutes now because you've brought in this quality, because you've done that. But I can't see Daniel James not being at Manchester United next season. I could see him getting a new deal. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm sure, you know, he just joined, so yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. But nevertheless, his wage probably would have been a lot lower when he first joined to what it would be now after what he did last season. Now, Solskjaer may be thinking, well, halfway through the season, Daniel James fell off a little bit. He looked really tired. He looked burnt out. He didn't do as well as he did in the first half as he did in the second half. But I feel Daniel James as a backup to someone like Jadon Sancho, and being able to maybe go in on the left as well sometimes when Rashford needs a rest, isn't a bad option to have at all. Who else have we got in these wide positions? Tahith Chong's someone that needs a loan deal more than Daniel James. Is Ollie going to loan Danny James out and keep Tahith Chong as one of those players on the wing? Are we realistically looking at bringing in a Sancho and Kai Havertz or Grealish or something like that? I can't see that happening, and unless that happened, you know, you're not going to see Daniel James leaving Manchester United. I actually think he's a valuable weapon to have. I have my question marks over whether he should be starting week in, week out, but he made 37 appearances this season so far. You'd think he'd make similar next season, even if we had Jadon Sancho, and even if like half of his 37 came off the bench. Like, I don't see, like, Daniel James isn't going to be expecting to be a Manchester United starter week in, week out. And if he does, he needs his head testing. So I can't see there being a world where Daniel James starts. Actually, I need to go out on loan. I'm not getting enough football. I need to go. I can't see that happening, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. United may have a plan to make all these deals happen, and then bring in Daniel James. But I don't understand why we've needed depth, we've needed quality in those wide areas, and then we'd bring someone in those wide areas, and then lose one of the players that we had. What happens if then someone gets injured? Who else have you got? You haven't got anybody. So I just don't feel there's really anything in these rumours, to be totally honest with you. Unless Manchester United are aiming to spend 200-300 million in this transfer window, I just don't see it happening. And despite what people think that I think of Daniel James, I actually think he's a very valuable squad member and could do well for United. So I think this would be rather bizarre if it did happen. Al's in the comments saying, think it's just paper talks. Daniel James is a tactical weapon for many games and his respectable output will improve. Ollie loves him, and even with Sancho, we needed that depth. And I totally agree with you, Al. Ollie again says he's our top assister, isn't he? Don't see how sending him on loan helps our squad. They're on crack as usual. If anything, Gomez and Chong should be first on the list. Also in big games, he's been crucial. Ollie would be the worst person to complain to about not getting a start. It's like, you know, you're trying to get some extra money out of your parents and they're like, well, back in my day, I never had none of that shit. That's why he'd be talking to Ollie like, mate, I can't be sitting on the bench. And Ollie would be there like, pardon me? Can't sit on the bench? Back in my day, that's all I fucking did was sit on the bench. And still, whenever I got my time, I tucked like a motherfucker. 4 goals in 10 minutes against Nottingham Forest. Last minute winner, like, he did them on a regular basis. He'd say, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Don't know you're born. That's what they'd start hearing. You don't know you're born. I'd only loan James if we get Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo. Wow. Looks like Neil doesn't want to loan James. Danny James's pace late in the game after coming on as a sub is a great weapon to have, says Connor. And I totally agree with you. Anyone needs to go on loan? It's Greenwood, says Daz. Say what? Chong maybe, but not Greenwood. DJ going, no way, he's got to stay, says Mark. I'm not sure if you meant to make that rhyme, but you definitely did, Mark. Pyramid schemes, COVID-19 might turn out to be the best thing to happen to United this season. All of our players are back fit and we can assess players like Fosu Mensah before the next transfer window. 2020 has been weird. COVID-19, UFOs and Anthony Marshall smiling. That's what Ollie's done to the place, I guess. James is overplayed because of injuries, says Michael. That's true as well. Also, Real have submitted a £71 million bid for Kai Havertz, so it's unlikely it will come to us. Why would they submit more than his release clause? Are Real Madrid, David Moyes' Man United? Would I try Memphis again at Man United, says Silly Mood. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Greenwood needs to stay, says Neil. Think James has a part to play, says Sean. And on the whole, so do I. So do I agree. I think Daniel James has a part to play in the squad. I can't see a world where Manchester United loan him out unless we were to sign Kai Havertz, Jack Grealish and Jadon Sancho. I can't see us actually loaning Daniel James out. So it may be a part of his contract negotiations going down, and people have heard 2 and 2 and put them together and come up with 5. I'm not too sure, but Daniel James isn't going to be joining another club on loan, in my opinion. Where you're going to go to Swansea on loan? Who's going to take him on loan? Premier League club. What's the point? May as well just keep him on your bench. Like, we're not signing that many players, and I think that's what people need to remember. We are not signing that many players. It will not be that much of a busy transfer window. It's busy enough that we can let Daniel James go. It just seems bizarre to me. United's intra-squad friendly was yesterday and it ended in a 4-4 draw. And I'll tell you the goal scorers right now. For the home team, the team that played in red, Paul Pogba got a goal and Marcus Rashford got 3. Pogba got 2 assists. Matic and Fosu also got an assist for that team as well. So 4 goals for the home team. The away team, Bruno got 2 goals and 2 assists. Marshall got a goal and an assist. McTominay got a goal and Mata got an assist in a 4-4 draw. So it looks like they're firing on all cylinders going forward, but maybe the defences aren't doing too well at the moment. But looked like a good workout for the boys at Old Trafford, as the team yesterday played at Old Trafford yesterday in an inter-squad friendly. You know the ones that you get on Football Manager and things like that. Well, that's what they were doing yesterday at Old Trafford. Bruno and Pogba were not on the same team, interestingly enough. So he's probably saving the first time they play together for the game against Spurs, which wouldn't be too bad at all, would it? Manchester United have also been linked with Jack Grealish again today. Let's bring this news up. And it says, the headline here says, Jack Grealish forced his way ahead of Jadon Sancho to #1 on Man United transfer hit list. This is an exclusive from the Mirror, although a number of other places have reported it. And they say, Jack Grealish is now Man United's #1 summer transfer target. Villa's skipper is top of the wanted list for boss Ole Solskjaer as he seeks to push the Red Devils back in the big time. The 24-year-old playmaker has been at the centre of detailed due diligence that's been undertaken by senior figures at Old Trafford over an £80 million move. Despite Grealish breaking lockdown to attend a house party, that has not put off Solskjaer. But we cash at a premium this summer. United will prioritise Grealish over Jadon Sancho, with Borussia Dortmund unwilling to lower their £100 million asking price. And I'm already calling bullshit on this one. The Bundesliga giants were asking a 9-figure fee for the England international and are happy to hold on to him for another season, despite interest from Real Madrid. That kind of outlay is becoming increasingly difficult for Man United to justify with respect to Sancho, as the club is losing cash at a rate of knots, and there are alternatives to the winger within Solskjaer's own squad. What? Who's the alternatives in our... This article is full of shit, but let's carry on anyway. However, it was Grealish who was captured the attention of the decision makers at the club, and regardless of whether Villa are relegated, the Norwegian will press the button. Excuse me, had to blow my nose there after I sneeze. Bloody hell. The pollen's in the air today, isn't it? Don't worry, it's not the COVID. His dad Mark is understood to be keen to follow Sancho example. So they're saying Bellingham's dad wants him to go to Dortmund. And United will target Grealish first because that's just bollocks. That's just bollocks. No way. This may be part of the negotiating for Jadon Sancho. United pretending we're not as interested in him as we actually are. But do I believe anything that these guys are saying? I do not. And thank you for the bless yous and all that stuff. because you touched your face. No one is allowed to touch their face anymore. Any manager who chooses Grealish over Sancho needs to be sacked as pyramid. It doesn't look like it's a thing of either or. What these guys are trying to say is that because United feel they can no longer afford Jadon Sancho this summer, we're now going to go and get Jack Grealish as our number one. I just don't believe that whatsoever. It may be a case that Dortmund are coming in with a high price. We're saying, nah, fuck off. We're not going to do that. We'll go elsewhere. Like you hear we talk about Havertz. What if Kai Havertz, United are using him to get Aston Villa to lower the price on Jack Grealish? There's so many different reasons why these players can come into prominence and into the rumours. I just don't believe that Manchester United would have dropped Jadon Sancho as our number one transfer target. Not at this point in the season anyway. And that article said we've got cover within the squad at right wing. Who? We got Daniel James and that's it. Bullshit story, says Neil. Cheers, Reedy. Ideal summer has to be to get Bellingham, send him to Dortmund, take Sancho and get Grealish too, says Sean. That would be a great time to be alive, wouldn't it, if we could do just that. We'll also be looking at the Donny van de Beek rumours as well. Donny van de Beek's been linked with Manchester United again. It did seem like he was set for a move to Real Madrid. And now it looks like Donny van de Beek is back in the target of Manchester United. And that came from the Times. The Times initially reported this. So some would say reasonably reliable. And they say Man United are battling with Real Madrid for Ajax midfielder Donny van de Beek. But what I would say about this article is, it says Man United have renewed their interest in Donny van de Beek and are weighing up a bid to snatch Ajax's young midfield talent ahead of Real Madrid. He's agreed the outline of a deal to join the Spanish Giants for £49 million, but the financial crisis in La Liga caused by COVID has left him uncertain whether Real can execute the transfer this summer, creating an opportunity United are considering exploiting. Now, I'm not even going to read this whole article, and I'll tell you why. We're not signing Donny van de fucking Beek. Where's Donny van de Beek coming into this equation, guys? Scott McTominay, Fred and Matic, 3 midfielders already. Bruno and Pogba. Donny van de Beek can play 6, 8 or 10. Alright, fair enough. Same as Paul Pogba and same as Bruno Fernandes. He plays in their positions. Why are we now going to go and spend £49 million on a Donny van de Beek? He's a fantastic player, by the way. That's our strongest position in the team. And we're going to say, yeah, we need another one. Before we go signing a Donny van de Beek, we need someone who can sit at the back of that midfield and protect for the long term. And I'm not talking the Man United short term, I'm talking long term. Not Donny van de Beek who's as, you know, if Pogba left, maybe. But again, these moves are just not... Like, don't these journalists feel stink when they write these articles? A lot of them are writing articles about Paul Pogba staying, about this, that and the other. And then they're writing articles about us replacing Paul Pogba, even though he's not going. Or they've written an article saying he's not going. Nobody knows what they're talking about. They're all talking shit. They're all of them. All of them. I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid have called their interest in Donny van de Beek, or are trying to re-enter the negotiations with Ajax and say, look, this coronavirus thing's come into the mix. It's fucked everything up. We need to come in and renegotiate. We can't be paying what we were paying. So it now may be a case Real Madrid have gone back on what they agreed. And therefore, Ajax are saying, fuck yous lot. We're going to go find someone else to buy him. We'll sell him elsewhere. And so now Ajax have briefed to the press, yo, Man United are interested in him. His agents briefed Man United are interested in him. So now Real Madrid are thinking, shit. We need to go get him. We need to go make sure he's our player. That's how I feel this one is going. It doesn't look like there's anything in this at all, in my opinion. I just don't think there is in Donny van de Beek. I think he's a fantastic player. Dobbsy, welcome. Thank you for joining us live. PR spin by Ashton, says Mark. If you hear Madrid linked to any player, it's fake. The president of Madrid confirmed that they need to sell 2 of James, Bale or Isco before they sign another player. It's a pyramid scheme. Glenn says Woodward's going to do his usual trick of arguing about the cost and losing out or paying it right at the end of the window. Hopefully, otherwise he stays in Germany. Man United Evening News are reporting that Jadon Sancho is top of our list. I think it is. Sit these journalists down and make them play FM. They might understand formations as Callum. Any word on Thomas Partey lately? I'll do a search in a minute, mate. Romano said Partey hasn't decided to stay or leave. No word on any players unless official, let's face it. It's all speculation that can change within a second. I agree with that, Michael. So let's see what the latest is in regards to Thomas Partey. It has all gone quiet on that front. I did get the feeling he would probably join Arsenal or someone like that. The last story was by The Express 17 hours ago, which says Arsenal have Thomas Partey transfer plan if they miss out on Champions League football. Looks like Thomas Partey to Arsenal may be dependent on Champions League football. And if that's the case, it's not going to happen. But it says in this, Arsenal could offer a swap deal including Alexander Lacazette to tempt Atletico Madrid into doing business for Thomas Partey. It has been claimed. The Gunners are set on signing Partey to form a new look midfield at Emirates. McKola is an admirer of the 26-year-old, and according to Goal, Atletico are aware of the North London club's interest. But Arsenal's current financial picture means it is almost impossible for them to put together the cash to activate his 44 million release clause unless they qualify for the Champions League. Ahead of the Premier League's restart in less than 2 weeks' time, Arsenal sit 9th and have 10 games to play, giving them a game in hand on their rivals. But even if they beat City in their outstanding fixture, they will still trail 4th place Chelsea by 5 points with 9 games remaining. And so, despite being the only unbeaten team in England's top flight in 2020 prior to the league's 3-month coronavirus enforced break, Arsenal are seen as unlikely to clinch a top 4 spot. If they do not book a spot in the Champions League next term, they will have to smart with their tactics in the transfer market to land Arteta's top target. Arsenal was shopping at the bargain basement, basically. They have to get rid of one of their best players to bring in another good player. Arsenal, fuck them. But they do look like the most likely to sign Thomas Partey out of any of the English teams. But that's the latest on him. How many players do we need to sell if we want to acquire our top target? And when was the last time we made a profit from a player sale? Lukaku, in it. Did we make a profit on Lukaku? It was very similar to what we paid for him. In terms of how many do we have to sell to sign, I'd say we've probably got the money there to make Sancho happen. We've got Igalo now till January, so we don't need to bother with that. I imagine there's probably another 30-40 million there, and United will want to bring in another 20-30 million, maybe with the sales of Smalling or Phil Jones or something like that. Andreas Pereira, Lingard, etc. So there's places you could potentially raise some funds, but I don't see it being a summer where we spend over 200 million. I think the max we'll probably spend is around 100 net with sales and things like that. I can't see it being an extravagant summer. But then part of me does feel United may think, let's make the cash available. We lost 5 million on Lukaku. Sorry, guys. I remembered that incorrectly. Yeah, so there you go. Tomorrow is City's appeal before the CAS RE Champions League ban. Oh yeah, we got that to come as well. Find out if 5th takes a Champions League spot, which would be decent, wouldn't it? Charlie Nicholas trying to big up Arteta's Arsenal and Wolves are the big winners of COVID-19 suspension. Charlie Nicholas is on crack. How about that? Signing Ndidi. Where is this coming from though? Like, a lot of people say Ndidi, and I know why, because he's a fantastic player. But is there any actually rumours anywhere in relation to Ndidi? No? Chelsea? He's been linked to Chelsea? But I can't imagine him going to Chelsea. How many midfielders have they got? It says Leicester ace Wilfred Ndidi has been linked with a move that would see him following the footsteps of N'Golo Kante, but Real Madrid are poised to hijack the move, according to reports in Spain. Yeah, I can't see Ndidi coming to United, unfortunately. I'd imagine if we wanted to go in at Leicester to try and sign someone, probably be James Maddison. Any more questions before we wrap up here, guys? Get your comments, get your questions, get your thoughts in. It will be fun listening to City's result tomorrow. Get all your thoughts and your questions in, guys. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. Keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV as well. Remember, you can join the channel as well. We're around 25, 26 away from hitting the target of 100 by the end of this month, which gives us around 23, 24 days. So one or so a day, and we can hit our target. Are you the person to join today? If you're a YouTube Premium member, and you're a member of the Premium and you pay for that, you can get a free membership on the channel if you're from select countries. So you could even redeem that on my channel. But get joining, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing, get liking, get your thoughts in. Pyramid says Madrid would never sign Ndidi. Thoughts on yesterday's game? Well, I can't say much on the game because I haven't seen it. But it's good to see that Paul Pogba scoring, Rashford scoring, Martial scoring, Bruno scoring. It's good to see those guys in the mix because we need them to hit the ground running if we're to be successful when the league does return. But apart from that, guys, thank you for tuning in today. You guys have been absolute legends. Make sure you are coming back every now and then as well to the channel. Thank you, Dubsy, for your super chat, bro. I appreciate that, man. Dubsy, the absolute legend. And thank you for tuning in, Dubsy, today. And thank you to everyone else for tuning in as well. Make sure you're keeping it locked, you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing, subscribing.